Kleiner Perkins Caufield Byers has been around for a little over 30 years. We're a diversified technology firm with practices across green tech, IT, and life sciences. We have about 25 investments in mobile, 25 plus, including about 4 in India. So we've been very active in mobile for a while, all the way from the infrastructure layer to the components layer to the application layer. Most of what we're focused on today is more at the application layer, consumer focusing, where I think most people think the majority of the action is at today. The iFund was basically an exclusive relationship with Apple, where we decided to allocate $100 million to invest in the mobile ecosystem with Apple as a strategic partner. And so we work closely with the Apple management team on things that they think are strategic, that we think are strategic, identify those areas, and then once companies in the iFund are funded, Apple will provide strategic support, technical support, and marketing support on the App Store, etc. So that's kind of the high level of the iFund that I can talk to you. For all these new mobile applications that are launched, advertising is going to be key. I mean, it's going to be the primary monetization mechanism. I think monthly recurring charges are on the wane or fading quickly as a legitimate business model. We'll also see things like virtual goods, virtual gifting, and things like that on the upswing. But if you think about it from an advertiser perspective, I've got TV, which is the complete lean-back experience. I've got the PC, where I'm kind of browsing, looking around at things. And then I've got my mobile, where I'm out on the go. I'm really lean forward. If I see an ad, if I'm searching for something, looking for something, trying to discover something, chances are I want to do it right now and somewhere around me. So the holy grail of advertising across all mediums is still local, and no one's really cracked it. So the first time we've got a medium where local makes sense, where the device actually knows where you are, and when you probably have intent to do something in the moment around you. Platforms in mobile, it's extremely complicated because what is a platform? Is a platform an OS? Is it a device? A carrier? A lot of carriers think they're a platform. Nokia thinks they're a platform. Apple's clearly a platform. So at all different layers, different people are competing to be a platform. Opera is a platform, right? They're trying to get a bunch of widgets built into it, and they want to be the place that people develop applications. Yahoo Go, it's a platform. So we've got all kinds of different platform fragmentation at the whole stack. So that makes it even more complicated. So I think you have to look at it as mobile is the platform. Just like the PC was the platform, you had a couple different flavors there. The internet was a platform, mainframes were a platform. Mobile is the platform. And you have to figure out, for your set of applications, where the users are that you want to address. And that's the beauty of the iPhone, is that you have, depending on whether you believe these statistics or not, 70% of the mobile internet traffic in the US, 95% of the users that have these using the mobile internet. That sounds like a pretty good place to start. Now, nobody's going to start and end just with the iPhone, because we've got another 3.2 billion mobile phone users out there. But this whole industry is growing up, and people getting more comfortable using applications, people getting more comfortable with having data plans, pricing plans becoming better, just consumer awareness. I mean, a couple of years ago, be lucky in the US if you saw somebody texting, and now you're kind of looking around, what's that person doing on their phone? So you get all these kind of factors weighing in. Obviously 3G, obviously better devices and UIs. So it's kind of all around us. So I think the key for any mobile startup is figuring out where the audience is that you want to initially start with to get that flywheel going, and then be very smart about what platforms you would embrace after that, branch out to. Okay. For all these new mobile applications that are launched, advertising is going to be key. I mean, it's going to be the primary monetization mechanism. I think monthly recurring charges are on the wane or fading quickly as a legitimate business model. We'll also see things like virtual goods, virtual gifting, and things like that on the upswing. But if you think about it from an advertiser perspective, I've got TV, which is the complete lean-back experience. I've got the PC, where I'm kind of browsing, looking around at things. And then I've got my mobile, where I'm out on the go. I'm really lean forward. If I see an ad, if I'm searching for something, looking for something, trying to discover something, chances are I want to do it right now and somewhere around me. So the holy grail of advertising across all mediums is still local, and no one's really cracked it. So the first time we've got a medium where local makes sense, where the device actually knows where you are, and when you probably have intent to do something in the moment around you. The first wave, which was more VCast and MobiTV, charging $9.99 a month, that got the early adopter, skim the cream. But I mean, basically, you had people using it 3 times a month to be cool, and that's just not sustainable. That's not going to get to the long tail of users. Now you've seen carriers trying to price it differently and do more bundled plans and things like that. That's getting a bit more adoption. And then you've got MediaFlow coming along. MediaFlow is one thread of TV on your mobile, which I think is interesting, which is fast channel changing, almost like your satellite TV on your phone. And for some people, live sports content, news, whatever, that's going to be interesting. The existing solutions, you had to go down and watch 2-minute snippets to change was so cumbersome. It was kind of a broken experience. But I think there's a whole nother side of it, which is what is this new video medium that's going to emerge on mobile that's going to be interesting. So we're seeing a lot more user-generated video companies like MyWave, Shozu, Kite TV, things like that. I think there's a whole rich area there that people are working on that has a lot of legs to it. Porting over their mainstream content applies to some set of users, but they're getting paid more and getting much more usage on the original for mobile created video. So I think that's a transition that the industry is still going through about figuring out what exactly that, from the media companies, what do consumers want. We'll have the UGC satellite type experience, and there's something else in the middle that's still being refined. So I think we'll see a number of things that play all sides of internet, mobile, and it's really about finding a different social use case. So when you think about going back to something like Whirl or Pelago, where you're looking for who are the people around me, because how I want to socially network with people has a lot to do with who's around me, what's around me. My phone book is in ways my social network. So instead of saying I'm going to create a new social network, it's about thinking about I've already got an existing social graph, so I'm not trying to be Facebook all over again, but I'm trying to say who are those people that I want to interact with on my mobile phone. It might be my phone book, might be a much more relevant social graph. Those people around me with similar interests might be a much more relevant social graph. So I think it's about taking a look at those factors, who you care about on your phone, what you care to do when you have location, time of day, etc., are the more important things to think about on your phone. So monetization has to come, monetization has to get better. As we talked about on advertising, the ad unit is immature, advertisers are just experimenting. So I think at this stage of the game as an entrepreneur, it's fine to come to us and say, hey, here's how we're going to build users. Don't come in and say, we don't know how we're going to monetize. That's a bad answer. But talk about, how you think you've got something specific to help this mobile ad unit evolve. You're going to do this kind of targeting because you're going to extract this type of information on your users. You're going to do something local. You're going to track what people do over time. You're going to build a profile. So you do more targeted ads, etc. I think that story's got to be there. Virtual goods, virtual gifting is part of social networking. More open networks and people thinking about new types of devices like the Kindle or like one of our companies, Dash Express. They're basically offering a new kind of connected hardware device with a new user experience. There's an opportunity there. As it relates to the cell phone itself, I think look for things like better screens, lower power ICs, better batteries, things like that on the device itself.